Okay, so great rivalries don't have to be built on hatred. They're built on respect, on a respect for excellence. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this quote a bit later on in the video, and it will all make sense. But first of all, let's have a look at the stock price. You can see in the Virgin Galactic stock price that we are trading nicely around the $25 region. And if we have a look at the 5-day chart, you can see that we're consolidating nicely around this stock price. Going back to the 6-month chart, you can see that actually is quite a significant level of support, the $25. And the reason why it's very important and it's actually very bullish is because we've had bad news after bad news. So we've had a stock offering which caused a 45% drop in the stock price, followed by a Richard Branson 10 million share sale, which resulted in a 30% drop in the stock price. Overall, this caused around a 50% drop in the stock price. Now, after a 50% drop in the stock price and bad news after bad news, we found support at $25. The reason why this is very bullish is if we have a look at the whole term of the stock chart for Virgin Galactic, you can see that just 1 year ago in July 2020, hitting around $25 was actually a peak in the stock price. So we've gone from $25 being a peak in the stock price to actually $25 being a low in the stock price. So actually, if we manage to hold around this level, it's very bullish. And I think this actual run up back then was prior to the cabin reveal. So prior to the cabin reveal, we saw about 60% run up in the stock price, and everyone's going crazy saying the stock's going through the roof. And we actually hit $25. So that just put some perspective onto it. Now everyone's complaining because we're at $25. But actually, this is a support level. So hopefully we don't go any lower. Potentially we can, but this isn't a peak for the stock. So it means that we've got more room to run up. So actually quite bullish for us. Now, we know that the next major catalyst for the stock price is the next test flight. And when is it? So they actually announced recently. So the company also announced this next space flight test is targeting late September from Spaceport America in New Mexico, carrying members of the Italian Air Force. So late September is when we're aiming for the next catalyst for this stock, and we are on, so it's currently the 18th of August, so we've got about a month and a bit left before we are likely to see the next test flight, as long as we are on schedule. That's a bit of time, so hopefully we can manage to stay above this level, but there's no guarantees. Potentially it could go a bit lower. Personally, I'm not planning to sell hoping for it to go lower. As I always mention in this channel, I am not able to predict the future. That's why I like to buy and hold, and if it does drop any lower, I probably would buy more of the shares. But we do have another catalyst which is indirect, so it's not directly related to Virgin Galactic, but Jeff Bezos recently just announced that they are targeting a test flight for the New Shepard on August 25th, which is 7 days from now, for the next space flight. As you know, they had a recent test flight on the 20th of July, so this is very soon to have another test flight. Now, this is quite an interesting test flight actually. So the New Shepard previously, more recently, took Jeff Bezos and his brother into space with a crewed test flight, but this next test flight is actually going to be a crewless test flight. So it's not going to be empty though. Check this out. So the capsule will contain 18 commercial payloads, 11 of which are NASA sponsored, as well as thousands of postcards submitted by kids via Blue Origin's non-profit Club for the Future. So this just demonstrates how strong spacecrafts are. Spacecrafts like the VSS Unity and the Blue Origin's New Shepard are in terms of generating revenue. We're not just relying on passengers who are willing to pay to go to space. So not only are we relying on them, but we can also rely on research and microgravity research and that kind of thing to make money. And the fact that we're able to bring 18 commercial payloads into space in one test flight just demonstrates to you how much revenue can be generated and how much demand there is for research when it comes to space. So I'm definitely not worried about Virgin Galactic finding customers who are willing to pay money, whether that's passengers or whether that's companies who want to do research in space. So revenue wise, we're safe. It's just about scaling production now. Okay, so that's very exciting. Now, this leads me nicely back to this quote. So great rivalries don't have to be built on hatred. They're built on respect for excellence. And I think that's exactly what Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin are doing. They're both extremely competitive companies, but actually they have a lot of respect for each other, and they both strive for excellence, and they're both really pushing the boundaries, pushing each other higher and higher. And I think they're just increasing the standards, and without each other I don't think they'll be as strong. So I think that this is a great rivalry, and it's built on respect, and it's built on respect for excellence. So that nicely takes me to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this, I'll be grateful if you could smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for future updates. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.